Hey everybody, it's Trucker Chad once again coming to you from the small closet in my room where it's a little more quiet and I can make a little bit more noise and talk a little louder and probably not wake up anybody. So if we hear banging on the wall, then I know I'm being too loud and we may need to find another spot. But for now, I'm going to crank out another video. This one I want to talk about home time. I've had several people reach out to me, and then also in the Driver Solutions Facebook group. I've been talking to folks about home time, and some people either worry about not getting enough or they're not getting home sometimes. And this is trucking, so we all know that it's not always going to be as planned. There will be times when you get home early uh, on the right day, and sometimes you get home late, and occasionally you may not get home at all. It just depends. You got to kind of roll with the punches a little bit. Try to be flexible. Now, one thing I always tell people, save the I really need this day off, those types of reasons. Keep those in your back pocket for when you really need them. If you got an important date coming up, somebody's getting married, whatever, a birthday. If there's a day that you absolutely have to be home, I call it like a hard date. If you absolutely need that, then you use those sparingly because if grandma's dying, every time you need to go home, they're going to catch on real quick and then it's not going to work. So save those. I really need to be home by XYZ date. Save those when you really need them. Otherwise, just try to be flexible. I always tell people request the day ahead that you want to be home. So if you want to be home on a Friday by whatever date, request the Wednesday or Thursday before. You're moving across the country back and forth, up and down, and sometimes things may not work out exactly to get you home that day. But if you aim for the day before, you'll either get there a day before that, or that day, or the day you really wanted to be home. So that helps. Another thing that really helps you get home easier is if you pick a company that has a terminal, a major terminal, close by your area. I'm from South Texas. I went with Pam Transport. They had a terminal in Laredo, which is only a couple hours away. So I never had a hard time getting home. As a matter of fact, I can think of one instance where I didn't go home on the day I requested, but they gave us a really awesome load that made us a ton of money that week. So I was like, you know what? I got nothing going on. I just wanted to go home. I'll take that load. I'll make some money. I'll go home next week. Other than that, by living close to the terminal, in my case Laredo, I was able to get home pretty much anytime I wanted to. So if you live in an area where there's not a major terminal, keep in mind there could be times when they may not be able to get you home exactly on the right date because they have terminals strategically placed in certain shipping lanes, and because that's where the freight's moving. So if you live close to a terminal, keeping you'll probably get home pretty easy. Like I said, there will be times when you may be home a day late, a day early, the same day. Sometimes not at all, but try to stay flexible. Request it ahead of time and save the I really need this date off. Save those for when you really do need them. Because if you stress to them like this day I have to be home, it's my kid's birthday, I missed the last one. I'm going to request it 2 days ahead of that date, but just want to make sure you know that I need this day off. And also you're going to put the request in through the Qualcomm, but you're also going to communicate that with your driver manager. Let them know, well ahead of time. Hey, I'm putting my home time in for this date. It's for this reason. I really would like to make it for this one. It's really important to me. Remind them a week ahead. Hey, just want to remind you, this is the day I have scheduled for home time. And usually, more often than not, they will accommodate you and get you home. Now, on the flip side, this is trucking. We're out there running miles and driving on the interstates and hauling freight all over the country. And sometimes you're going to miss a date. It's going to happen. That's the sacrifice we make. We sacrifice time away from family. We sacrifice time away from special events. We sacrifice extended visits. We only go home for a few days or maybe 5 days, because this is how we earn our money. This is how we get paid. So you got to be out there making those miles happen. If you're home all the time, you're not going to make any money, and then you'll be another comment on the internet saying, I never made money. Well, you're always at home. That's probably why. So home time is important. It's precious. Um, Try to be strategic about it. Um, request it a couple days ahead of time, and save those. I really need to be home by this date. Save those from when you really do need them. And living close to a terminal doesn't hurt. That pretty much almost, I don't want to say guarantees you're going to get home, but it makes it a lot easier in the company because they know they got freight going that way. Like, oh yeah, sure, go ahead and deliver that load, and you can bobtail the 2 hours to your home. So when you're selecting a company, try to find one that has a terminal close by to where you live. Um, now if you live somewhere up in the middle of nowhere, just keep in mind it'll be challenging sometimes. It won't be impossible. So keep that in mind. Anyways, for Driver Solutions, I'm Trucker Chad. I'm wearing my Driver Solutions t-shirt, proudly displaying it. Thank you, Derek, for hooking me up with the Driver Solutions merch. Driver Solutions has been awesome. They're a really great help to new drivers getting into the industry, and they have a wealth of information for you to review and study and prepare for. So love working with those guys and helping them out. So Trucker Chad, you can follow me on at Twitter now. I'm at Chad from Texas, and of course you can message me on the Facebook Messenger, and I'm pretty active in the Driver Solutions Facebook group as well. Anyways, y'all stay safe out there. Good luck to all the new students, and I will see y'all there. Bye.